So I wake up this morning all excited to do the show, ready to go, amped to hang out with the Patriots. And I do my normal routine. I woke up, got my groggy butt out of bed, walked directly to the kitchen, put on some 1775 coffee right in the brewer, and I headed straight to the shower. Yes, I do shower before every show and after every show. And I was scrubbing myself. La, da, 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 this is great. I'm going to do the Ball Brad show. Hundreds of people watching. This is awesome. I promise there's a point to this story, which is why we're a couple minutes late. Dry myself off. Put on some clothes. And walking my fat booty back to the kitchen to fill up the Bald Brad Show mug. Well, all I see from a far distance is a waterfall of coffee flowing off my counter onto my floor. I did not put the pot inside the coffee maker. Fuck you if you're laughing right now, okay? Can you believe it? This is a hand-to-God true story. Holy shit. It's fucking pulling paper towels like they're toilet paper. Just fuck. It went inside my like drawers. And then it went inside some like surface level shelves inside my rice maker. I was like, what the hell? Now you might not think, it's not that big of a deal. I've been through some shit, Brad. I've been through some shit. I bet you have. The reason why this is such a big deal. Yeah, all you were laughing. Oh, I'm glad you got a good kick out of that, huh? Yeah. Who said that? Steve's like, I hate when I do that. Fucking forgetting to put the pot inside the coffee maker. Fucking wild morning. So anyways, this is a big deal because this is epic. Well, technically we've done over 1,000 episodes. I like restarted after like that. Not a big deal. We're way over episode 901, but this is titled 901 since I've started keeping track. We've done easily over 1,000 episodes. This is episode 901. I want to point something out. We've been doing this show for over 4 years. I have never, ever done this show without a cup of coffee. Now you might be asking, well, Brad, what are you drinking? I just saw you just inside the cup. I just saw you took a sippy. It's water. Look how clean that mug is. It's water. Yeah, I'm not stoked about it. I was so like, I put the pot back in before I even cleaned up the mess just to see if I get a little bit. Like I'm an addict. It's like, fuck, maybe I'll get like, I don't know, 1/25 of a cup. And I can just like, I'm like slurping it up off the floor. Like a vacuum. Jesus. So anyways, that's my morning. Hopefully you guys having a better morning than me. Well, shit. Now, believe it or not, that's not the only time that's happened. I've never shared this story. Are you guys okay before we start the show? Because we got a lot to cover, but hey, you know what? I need to get this off my chest. When I became an accountant, a public accountant, I was a workhorse. I got hired by one of the number one firms I wanted to work for. I was super excited. Day one working in the office. I show up before everybody. It was typical for me to do that when I was a tax accountant. I would always come in before everybody, turn the lights on and start working. That's just the type of guy I am. Well, there was a partner at the firm named Rob that was known to come in before everybody. Partner, staff accountant. You're like at the bottom of the barrel. And I'm like, hey, you know what? Like, I'm sure the guy's been working here a long time. He'll probably want somebody to make coffee for him every once in a while. Now, when you go into a place where coffee is your fuel, it's your gasoline. That's what you run on when you're in public accounting. They got canisters all over the place, and not like these little puny ones like I was working with out there. You're talking the industrial size multi. You'd pull out your drawers and there would be just Starbucks coffee bags lined up in perfect order for you. So I make the coffee, and I've never ran one of these industrial ones myself, like the ones they had. And needless to say, I'm pumping out 4 industrial canisters to start off. Starts flowing onto the counter all over the floor. It's my first day at work, folks. Like my first legit day at work. And I'm having a oh shit moment. I'm going, fuck, nobody come in. Because that's the first thing they're ever going to see of me. We just hired this guy. They're paying me a lot of money. And he doesn't know how to make a cup of coffee. And I'm losing my shit inside the kitchen at work. And I'm like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. And it's all flowing. You thought that was bad out there? You thought that was bad? A little coffee mug, a little coffee maker that I got as a hand-me-down? I didn't even buy it. Hand-me-down. Blessing to them. This was industrial. I had a waterfall of coffee in my kitchen just now. Can you imagine what that would have looked like? I was shitting my pants. Moral of the story is I got it all cleaned up. Nobody even knew anybody brewed coffee. Rob came in and made it. Nobody in that office ever knew that story. And matter of fact, it's the only time I've ever told it publicly. You're welcome. All right. Well, there's my morning. It's okay, Brad. It happens to us all the time. No, it doesn't. Shut up. You're just trying to make me feel better. My hands are kind of sticky. Is there sugar inside coffee? Because I just drink mine black. It's kind of, it's probably the cleaner. Oh, God. I smell like coffee. It's kind of nice. Okay. Anywho, here we go. Enough of me talking. Good to see everybody. Welcome. Good morning. Thank you, Jade, for the $9.99. I don't know if that's a donation because you feel bad, but I appreciate it. And by the way, it helps tremendously because we are not running ads any longer on YouTube during our live stream. So every little bit counts. Absolutely. Also, might as well say this too, and I'll say it throughout because I don't want anybody to be shocked. Starting July 1st, our bottom base tier is going from 99 cents to $1.99. So that will be there for you as well. The reason for that is, again, we're not running any ads anymore. So good morning, everybody. Wake the hell up. Here we go. Let's see if I got the energy here. We're going to be blowing our load early. All righty, let's get to some updates just like we always have been, and there's a lot of them. There is a lot of updates, a lot of stories, because it was a hell of a freaking weekend. We got to go way down here. I mean, hell, just big old booms of a weekend. All right, let's go back as far as we can. Netanyahu prays for Trump at Western Wall, which is always nice. Pray for Donald Trump. Israel Knesset lit up with American colors. Well, the Israelis are just loving America right now because we just did them a huge service, as well as ours, to be fair. Israeli Air Force strikes missile storage facilities. It's kind of cool. Let's see this kind of boom here. Here's footage of Israel Air Force striking missile warehouses in Iran. The jets flew over 22 kilometers for the attack, making it the furthest target struck to date per the IDF. Let's make sure we're not getting any feedback here. All right, I think we're good. Okay. Remember last time. So that's a huge boom. And remember, we're going to go over everything here. We're going to talk about Israel, Iran, United States first, and then I'm going to transition into some other stuff. Then you have here Trump on Iran. Why wouldn't there be regime change? This is I actually gave my opinion last week. Truthfully, I didn't want us to bomb Iran. I didn't want the United States to get involved. There were rumors and sprinklings of some intel that Israel did have a contingency plan if the United States wasn't going to go into Fordo. Doesn't matter. Now we bombed Iran. Pete Hegseth said, look, this is not going to be an ongoing campaign. Excuse me, it's a one and done. We're not going to do it anymore. We got what we needed to do, or we got what we needed at the end of the day. But now Trump says this. It's not politically correct to use the term regime change, but if the current regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be regime change? And then they put MIGA. Now, I get what he's saying of, well, look, you have an opportunity, you keep the regime in place, just come to the negotiation table and work with us. People always try to take the the chaotic road, if that makes sense, or the most dramatic road, because people love drama. They look at this as reality television, which I suppose in some way, shape, or form it is. But he's not saying that this is what he wants. He's not saying, well, there needs to be regime change and this is the new agenda. This is what we're going with. All he's saying is, hey, if you want to keep the regime in place, then come to the negotiation table. If you're not going to come to the negotiation table, which is going to lead to a bad outcome for you, then why wouldn't you want a regime change? Because it's going to lead to a bad outcome for you. Hey, thank you, Samir. I appreciate that. Love your content, by the way. Thank you. Heck yeah. Well, stick around. We're live on Rumble, YouTube, TikTok, X. I mean, you can find us everywhere. Kick. We got a lot of people watching. Appreciate you. Thank you for the nice comment. Love you. Here we go. Expert details Iran's routes to retaliation against U.S. wash away blood with blood. We're going to get more in this piece a little bit later. I actually do have an article on it. But Tehran wants retribution after the United States bombed several Iranian nuclear facilities over the weekend and has several avenues of exacting it, according to the Foundation of Defense Democracy's Iran expert. Iran could launch missiles against United States assets in the Middle East. There is a circumference of range of which they could hit. So it's not like it's going to be coming over here domestically. It's strictly in the Middle East. And most of our troops have been, I don't want to say diminished in a negative way, but moved to different locations along with our embassies. Trump did this weeks ago. So we'll cover this a little bit later. And then likely Iranian enrichment halls were severely damaged, says nuclear think tank. Well, I mean, I would say the holes there would probably mean something. A lot of people are looking at these images, and because they're so used to devastation, just turned into a parking lot. It was already a parking lot to begin with. There ain't anything out there. Do you see any grass? I don't see any grass. There's puncture holes, though. And let me tell you, those went a few hundred feet into the earth and went kaboom boom. So there's damage done. I don't care what they say. Oh, well, they didn't hurt it. You know, it's fine. Okay, sure. Drop freaking 12 of those suckers in one spot. I don't care who you are. That's a hole. There's a hole down there. Iranian foreign minister arrives to Russia to rally the world against Israel. We'll see what comes of that. And then there was missile barrages yesterday. Now, here's what I want to get to, because this affects you guys, and it affects me as well. Yes, somebody said it. Mike said it in the chat. Here we go. Mike is there already with it. State Department issues worldwide caution security alert following Iran strikes. I wanted to make sure I get to this at the beginning of today's show, because that's where most people watch. The State Department has issued, matter of fact, let's go to Margaret's, this is the White House correspondent for the Daily Wire. The State Department has issued a worldwide caution security alert following the strikes on Iran. The conflict between Israel and Iran has resulted in disruption to travel and periodic closure of airspace across the Middle East. There is the potential for demonstrations against United States citizens and interest abroad. The Department of State advises U.S. citizens worldwide to exercise increased caution. Well, we know what that means. Not only are there potential kidnappings that could take place, not only is there potential of riots taking place in other countries, but there's also the potential of sleeper cells, both domestic and abroad. And we're going to break that down a little bit more. I got articles galore up here at the top for all this stuff. I'm just bringing you the most up-to-date news that we have it now. Iran fires just one missile in latest attack, which is weird because everybody's expecting a massive attack to take place on Iran just yesterday, and it didn't happen. I don't even think a missile landed. I think they got everything in the air. So everyone's like, well, that's kind of a weak show of force. Look, I mean, I'm not asking for a strong show of force. I'm asking for peace. That's what I would like. Enough is enough. Department of Homeland Security bulletin warns of heightened threat environment. Again, we're going to go over that a little bit more, but this is from Homeland Security, heightened threat environment in the U.S. We're going to break that down for you, okay? Because it affects all of you. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican. It affects all of us. The fact that there's the word American in it, they don't like you. But the Democrats think, well, they don't. Trump border czar warns of Biden-era gotaways amid Iranian sleeper cell concerns. Here we go. We're going to get into that in just un momento. But again, there's a worldwide alert for sleeper cells taking place right now. And we want to make sure that we cover that for you. And it looks like IDF 35 minutes ago strikes Iranian prison. Let's take a little peek at what that looks like. Well, it looks like somebody's backyard got hit. That's the video of it. It looks like somebody's lawnmower blew up in their garage. You know what I'm talking about? Look at that. Just, oh yeah, it's just, hey Bert, can you warm up the mower? We're going to be getting some stuff done this weekend. Sure, Dad. Boom. All right, there you go. Those are your updates for now. Now let's actually break into the news here. Again, State Department issues worldwide caution alert amid report Iran threatened Trump with sleeper cell. So, it wasn't just them. Again, there were reports that Al-Qaeda on June 11th, I believe it was reporting that they're going to release all their sleeper cells across the world, and everybody's going to be getting involved in this. So this could spiral out of control, and that's why you need to keep your head on a swivel and be alert. July 4th is coming up. There's a lot of parades. By the way, it doesn't have to be a big boom boom. You've seen what people do with vehicles. Your kids are going to be out there. There's explosives already happening. It's going to be tough to distinguish depending on distance, depending on environment, if it's a firework or if it's something else that has a thing at the end that goes into your body. I'm trying to be careful because we're on TikTok and get banned for anything nowadays. So please, please, please be careful on 4th of July. I'm not saying don't go out, but if you're in large crowds, be careful. The State Department issued a rare worldwide caution alert on Sunday amid concerns about a heightened risk of terror attacks by Iranian sleeper cells. I was told these didn't exist. We actually had a guy in the chat over the weekend say that this wasn't happening. They said, quote, show me a sleeper cell. Well, if I showed you the sleeper cell, you idiot, it wouldn't be a sleeper cell anymore, would it? It would just be a terrorist at that point, a known terrorist. The brain span is wild. There is more power in this protein wrapper than there was in that guy's head. A White House official told the Daily Wire they are staying vigilant. I said vigilant. Holy Lord. It's no coffee Monday, folks. Vigilant, and the Trump administration will use all resources available to protect both the United States and its assets abroad. A lot of people came out and said, hey, we're on top of this. We're looking around. You obviously didn't just hear it from the State Department. You heard it from Homeland Security. You also said, Dan Bongino of the FBI. The FBI come out over the weekend and say, look, we're on top of this. We're making sure all our assets are in place. A bulletin from the Department of Homeland Security's National Terrorism Advisory System on Sunday warned that an ongoing Iran conflict is causing a heightened threat environment in the United States. Why? Again, my question is why? Could it possibly be? Could it just possibly be that there's a guy named Joe Biden that the Democrats voted for that allowed millions of people to pour across our borders that we have no idea who they are? Oh, well, they were vetted. They were all vetted. Oh, really? They were all vetted. Were they? Then why are we having this issue right here? Now, here's the thing. You wouldn't have to question any of this if you had a secure border and you had actual immigration that was supposed to be taking place. Huh. Wow. So now everybody's freaking out because there's sleeper cells in the United States. Over 1,000 of them, by the way, according to former CIA operative Sarah Adams. So now guess what? Now you all of us get to get a little worried now because you have idiots for 4 years that didn't want to do anything. Name the Biden administration. So anytime a Democrat gives you crap about anything, you bring up the fact that they allowed in over 20 million people into this country illegally, and we don't know who majority of them are. That's not a problem. No, they're good guys. They're here for a better life. They came because of climate change. We were told so by Kamala Harris. Oh, goody. Now we got another thing. Now we got to deal with Democrats' problems once again. It's always Democrats. It was almost as if they're the ones that blew my coffee maker, and I had to go clean up the mess. The Department of Homeland Security cited Iran's history of launching cyber attacks and targeting U.S. government officials. It added that there is a possibility of terrorists within the United States. Well, why would that even be possible? We had secure borders. Remember, it was just a situation under Biden. No, they called it a challenge. It was never a crisis. We watched for 4 years, we watched every White House press briefing. The only person that let it slip that was a crisis was John Kirby. That was the only person slipped out of his mouth a couple times over the course of 4 years. And when I say couple, I think I only mean twice, maybe 3 times out of 4 years. But again, possibility of terrorists. Well, again, why would that happen? Any Democrats over there on TikTok? Because that seems to be the only place that we get Democrats now. You want to explain this one to me, or are you just going to blame Trump for this again? Gotcha. Okay. Probably Trump again, because your head don't work. You can't figure out any other variable in an equation other than this one. Orange bad man bad. The likelihood of violent extremists in the homeland independently mobilizing to violence in response to the conflict would likely increase if Iran leadership issued a religious ruling calling for retaliatory violence against terrorists in the homeland. It said multiple recent homeland terrorist attacks have been motivated by anti-Semitic or anti-Israel sentiment, and the ongoing Israel-Iran conflict could contribute to U.S.-based individuals plotting additional attacks. Again, what is it, only like a week and a half, 2 weeks till 4th of July? I mean, that if you're going to do a day that we're pushing our independence, that probably be the day to do it. And now I don't want it to happen, but it ain't going to be a good thing. So again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're out in crowds and you're taking care of your kids and everything like that, especially gentlemen, my live access was removed. We just got removed. Your access to go live and multi-guest will be restored on June 30th. Your access to mobile gaming and live studio will be restored. Misinformation. I got cited. Can I bring it over? I can't even move it. Okay. I got cited for giving misinformation. I was literally reading from a document. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so let's read this. Live access taken down on TikTok for misinformation. In a global community, it's natural for people to have different opinions, but we seek to operate on a standard set of facts and reality. It's not a fact and reality. Anything that I said, nothing that I said was a lie. I literally said where I got it all from. John Kirby, I was actually getting names. Joe Biden let in millions of illegal aliens. Like, what? What? We're going to appeal it. How do you appeal this? Submit appeal. That's wild. Well, we're not over at TikTok. Now we're just back here. Well, anywho. Hey, I mean, if the coffee maker, me screwing that up wasn't a sign, I don't know what was. I ain't surprised. The fact that we went this long is really shocking, to be honest. Trump border czar warns of Biden-era gotaways amid Iranian sleeper cell concerns. Hold on a second. I was just had my stream taken down. I was told this is misinformation. Because I guess when you just report the news, it's misinformation, I guess. Gotcha. So I guess he did not say this. It's all cheap fakes, deep fakes. It's all made up, I guess. Me just reading from something. The biggest national security vulnerability this country's ever seen comes from Biden-era gotaways. Trump border czar Tom Homan said on Sunday, as he warned, federal officials do not have a full accounting of all the people from Iran who illegally crossed the border during the latest administration. I find it fascinating that people are able to do debates all over TikTok, none of them taken down for misinformation. I've seen so many lives on there where people are spewing stuff that's actually fake, not real. And by the way, I would say it's disinformation because some of them know that it's not real. And just millions of viewers. It's, by the way, you could assume that what side they're on, right? Left side, left leaning. Homan spoke about the situation after being asked by Fox News anchor Maria Bartiromo on Sunday Morning Futures about the potential Iranian sleeper cells. So let's see if we can pull that up for you guys and get that going for you. Here we go.
Numbers this morning just from a CBP under Joe Biden. There was 1,272 nationals of Iran released in the country between OFO and the Border Patrol. And you compare that to the Trump administration, 0. right? Zero releases. And right now, because of President Trump's leadership, we have the most secure border in my lifetime, most secure border in the history of this nation. So we have a secure border. That was President Trump's big win on securing this nation. So we're not releasing people in this country. Special interest aliens aren't crossing that border undetected. But under Joe Biden, we had over 10 million people cross that border. But my biggest concern from day one, beyond the fentanyl, beyond the sex trafficking women and children, were the 2 million known gotaways. Over 2 million people crossed that border. We don't know who they are, where they came from, because they got away, because Border Patrol is so overwhelmed with the humanitarian crisis that Biden created that over 2 million people crossed the border and got away. That is my biggest concern, and that's what created the biggest national security vulnerability this country's ever seen. So I pulled.
Gee, hold on a second. Tom, we were just notified by one of the biggest companies in the world that you were just spewing misinformation. Because I swear as if those were the very similar words that I said. Yeah. So the guy that's the director of the border, Tom Homan, the guy that leads the border and the security of this nation, I guess I'm wrong. Yeah. It's all fake, you guys. Fake news. Fake news. So again, if you didn't have Joey in office, you might have never had this situation in the first place, but Democrats will always risk your security. The reason why is if you risk your security, guess who you have to rely on more? The government. For your what? Security. Now you say, well, Brad, I have my own security. I'm strapping, brother. I got ammo. I got everything. I'm good. Why do you think they're always trying to chisel away at your Second Amendment rights? Because they want to make you, by they, I mean Democrats want to make you reliable on government. Conservatives and Republicans want you to make reliable for yourself and your own safety. Now, it doesn't mean not have a military, but you get what I'm saying. I got removed off TikTok. Yeah, just now. Oh, well, life goes on. So that's what they want to do. And they've always been that way. Wild. It's so frustrating because now, you want to have a nice day celebrating Independence Day, and now we got to keep our, head on a swivel here. Yeah, see, Rob says, wow, what the F did you say? The truth? Yep, pretty much. Rob, if the reason why there's not much of a reaction from me, my friend, and by the way, thank you for following us over at Rumble. I did get the notification. Is because you'd be surprised at the suppression this channel sees. And that's what's interesting when you get new viewers coming in. We have over 108,000 subscribers over at YouTube. We currently have 60 people watching. If that means anything, we have more people watching on Rumble with 2,000 subscribers. I'm going to say that again. With 2,000 subscribers over at Rumble, we have over 70 people watching with just 2,000. YouTube has 108,000 and we have less than that. Do you think there's a little bit of suppression going on? I think there's a little bit of suppression. I think so. Anyways, experts details Iran's routes to retaliation against U.S. Wash away blood with blood. Here we go. I think there was a video for this, if I remember. No, okay. I thought there was. Tehran wants retribution after the United States bombed several Iranian nuclear facilities over the weekend and has several avenues of exacting it. According to the Foundation of Defense of Democracy's Iran expert, Iran could launch missiles against United States assets in the Middle East, which we talked about, attack through proxies, activate terrorist agents in the U.S., or leverage relationships with transnational criminal organizations to attempt high-profile attacks or assassinations, the senior Iran program director and senior fellow at the foundation. Make no mistake, they will still want to wash away blood with blood. That's a pretty strong statement, by the way. So we'll keep you up to date on anything that happens. Everything after this is pretty much talking about the most recent nuclear facility bombing. But down here, it says the Iranians have tried to delete on U.S. soil the Saudi ambassador by working with Mexican drug cartels. They've tried to go after a journalist, a U.S. citizen of Iranian origin in New York, by working with, I think it was an Eastern European mafia. And they've tried to go after others, by even using a Canadian biker gang. Now, talk about desperation. What, are they going to hit you with a bunch of Canadian sausage? Like, what the hell? I just picture these guys rolling in with assless chaps with their ape hangers. You know what I mean? With their man tits hanging out. I'll give you a break. Canadian biker gang. All right. Shit. I mean, you're really scraped at the bottom of the barrel at that point. Things against President Donald Trump from Iran have surged in recent years since the killing of the General Soleimani. In November, the Justice Department announced charges against an Iranian man in connection with a plot to go after then President-elect. So, Donald Trump. By the way, Donald Trump for the rest of his life is going to have to keep his head on a swivel, which is kind of sad. And not just him, but his family too. So, I mean, the guy's risking a lot by being the president of the United States, obviously, not just from more of a business standpoint, but also just from the standpoint of trying to keep your family and your friends safe. I mean, if you're connected to him in any way, shape, or form, you're kind of on the hit list. Now, you got Scott Jennings here. It's been a while since we've had Scott Jennings because he was out of the country. He was actually in Israel when all this happened, believe it or not. Like the time that you go over there to get a good history lesson on Christianity and Judaism, you start having, rockets flying off. So Democratic National Committee spokeswoman Hinojosa, what a name, claimed on Sunday that she'd seen no evidence thus far that Iran posed a direct and present threat to the United States. I just read you that they were targeting a president-elect. Did I not? So let's go to the clip here. Now, one thing I want you to notice. Let's see if I can get it timed perfectly. Hold on a second. Okay, there we go. That's what I want to show you. Do you notice that the media has really done this? I don't know if it's a new thing and I'm just becoming aware to it. Do you notice it's always with the facial expressions now? Most notably, Margaret Brennan does it. And also Kristen Welker. Like these facial. Like I do those for thumbnail images. And maybe that's why they're doing it, to easily grab a thumbnail image for YouTube or something. I'm not exactly sure, for clickbait. I mean, it's a YouTube, like those types of things. It's just, you're a reporter. Like, simmer down. Okay? Everybody calm the hell down.
I think that there are a lot of questions that are being raised by Congress right now. And the reason that they're being raised is because normally you would need congressional approval for something like this. And I know that my friend here is laughing a little bit, but I will say,
I will covered Congress for a long time, but they gave a lot of that away.
But I will say, I mean, in order for the president to take action without congressional approval, he needed to show that there was a real true threat to the United States and that the strike would not cause escalation. The problem with this is that normally you would have a group of lawyers from all across the agencies that actually would make these determinations. Trump did away with that at the beginning of this administration. So it's unclear what type of legal advice Trump was getting. The Department of Defense usually puts out a statement and says what the legality is of any strike that the president is taking without congressional action. Here, we have not heard from DOD what is happening there. So what will be critical in the weeks to come is Congress must see the underlying intelligence about how they were in direct threat and how the U.S. needed to respond without congressional approval. But as of right now, I have not seen that.
You're arguing that after 46 years of the Iranian regime killing Americans, threatening Americans, saying over and over and over again, death to America, that maybe they were just didn't mean it, that they're fiery but mostly peaceful Iranian butchers? I mean, I don't understand. This is a righteous struggle.
But what you have
that's not exactly the
well,
Scott, I will say it again. Scott is single-handedly keeping CNN afloat. It's crazy. I found this out early on, that people live in a reality that they've concocted for themselves. And that reality comes in the form of it's safe. And when I learned this, I actually saw the moment that I realized that people were idiots and they live in this fictitious world. And it was when I saw the movie Rambo. Was it Rambo New Blood or Rambo Resurrected? Last Blood. No, it wasn't Rambo. It was Rambo. What Rambo movie? It was a Rambo movie, but it was like one of the recent ones. It had to be in the early 2000s. It wasn't Last Blood. That one's too new. 2008 Rambo. Okay, so it's just 2008 Rambo. And there was a scene where they're being chased after a bunch of guys, and there was these nut jobs that would not take a firearm, and they would not utilize weapons. And he was trying to throw rocks at the guy. At that moment, I realized, oh, they're really, I mean, I understand it's Hollywood, but also that carries over in the real world of like, oh man, there really are people that are stupid. No, there are like really, really stupid people here. Like Darwin's gone. Darwin has left the building. And I'm sorry, I was rooting for the guy to get deleted in the movie. I'm like, just end him. He doesn't need to continue life. Life for him has exceeded what it was supposed to. The guy's life expectancy is far beyond whatever it's supposed to. If Darwin was here, Darwin would have taken care of this a long time ago. There's no way. These people are idiots. Oh, well, I haven't seen any evidence or proof that Iran is hostile towards America in any way, shape, or form. I guess them chanting death to America in their government chambers, or them burning the American flag, stomping on presidents' faces as puppets and all that other stuff, saying we want to attack you. I guess the assassination attempts didn't do it for you. These people are idiots, man. But hey, so it's okay for them, though, to spew misinformation. By the way, I appealed the TikTok suspension. It did not work. They denied my appeal. Didn't say, by the way, if you notice with any of this crap the social media outlets do, I just want to point this out, I don't care who it is. Now, Rumble, from my understanding, has not done it to anybody. But if you do it to anyone, they will just suspend you or ban you. They will never actually tell you the very thing that you said that was misinformation or disinformation or wrong. They will never tell you. It's just, you said something. What did I say so I don't say it again that was wrong? Well, you want to know how I know this? Because I've literally asked YouTube this many of times. They've deleted videos of mine before. And I said, what did I say that was wrong? Like, what is going on so I can fix it? And this also happens with ads. So I can run ads to gain subscribers because they won't pump my videos out naturally. Where am I going wrong here so I can fix it? Well, we don't know. It's mind-blowing to me that these people function. Like, they have jobs. So you're going to tell me I did something wrong, but you don't know what I did wrong. So when you didn't know I did something wrong, you just assumed I did something wrong by banning me, but you're not able to identify the exact moment I said something wrong so the person can fix the thing that was wrong so the problem can actually be fixed. Okay. Good to know. Makes a lot of sense to all of us here. To nobody. Speaking of things that don't make sense, I mean, she's hot, but she's also an idiot. Republicans torch AOC for suggesting Trump be impeached over Iran strikes. Now, I understand she wasn't in Congress necessarily for a majority of this, but where was the impeachment stuff regarding strikes when Clinton was in office? What about Barack Obama? What about Biden? I mean, where was it for that? But Trump does it. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, how could he? It's so wrong. Republicans are roasting Representative AOC for suggesting on Saturday evening that President Donald Trump should be impeached for ordering strikes on 3 facilities in Iran to prevent that country from achieving nuclear weapons. Quote, here we go. The president's disastrous decision to bomb Iran without authorization is a grave violation of the Constitution and congressional war powers. No. Article 2, Section 2. Easy. Look at that. Boom. And I'm not even in Congress. The high-profile member of the leftist squad declared in a post on X, he has impulsively risked launching a war that may ensnare us for generations. It's an absolutely and clearly grounds for impeachment. Yeah. God. So Marjorie Taylor Greene came out of the woodworks and said, shut up, you pathetic little hypocrite. You fully supported our military and IC running the proxy war against Russia and Ukraine. And you voted to fund Ukraine war under your president with dementia. You don't get to play anti-war and moral outrage anymore. Correct. The hypocrisy. But when you have stupid people that are elected, stupid people are unable to always realize and witness the hypocrisy. Now, I get it that it happens every once in a while that you might say or do something and you go, oh man, yeah, I messed up on that one. Oops, that was pretty hypocritical, or somebody calls it out and you just missed it. Like, I get that. It happens every now and then. I always give people the benefit of the doubt. AOC, though, on the other hand, it is remarkable how hypocritical this woman is. And there is no shred of acknowledgement to it, which tells me she's an idiot. Now, people say, well, you should go back to bartending. I don't think so. That's an insult to bartenders. We all know a good bartender. They're not all idiots. But man, she is dumb. She should be like a door greeter at Walmart. And even those that's an insult to door greeters at Walmart. That's how dumb she is. And she made it here. She made it here on her looks and acting like a psycho. People thrive off that stuff. The big booty Latina. That's right, Keith. The big booty Latina. You got Mike Lawler contended on Fox News that Democrats did call for impeachment after former President Barack Obama attacked Libya, Syria, Pakistan, Yemen during his tenure. For my colleagues that are now demanding impeachment, it's absolutely absurd. These folks are truly reaching new levels of Trump derangement in the aftermath of yesterday's decision. He added, alluding to what was become widely known as Trump derangement syndrome, which I believe has turned into a real syndrome. I think that is actually like a real thing now, not just like a label. Dan says, who worked for former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton when she was serving as a senator from New York, agreed that the action was not impeachable and decried his Democratic colleagues who were asserting that it was. Thank you for somebody having their head on straight. I know it's few and far between. It's hard to find. It's like a needle in a haystack, but I guess they do exist. Believe it or not, they do exist. Quote, it was too depressing to write this last night after we got off air, so I went to bed. But it needs to be said by more Democrats that this was not an impeachable offense, and Trump did not need congressional approval for one precision attack under the circumstances, just as Obama did not when striking bin Laden. He posted earlier on Sunday. Why can't our party just say it's great we achieved the objective and destroyed Iran's nuclear sites? God bless the soldiers who carried this out and made it home safely. God bless our country, military, allies, and we look forward to a full intel briefing. Now, I wonder if he's a little bit biased towards Israel. Maybe that's why he's not blowing his load on this whole thing or going off about it. But there you have it. So we covered this on TikTok, and I believe I uploaded even a video on YouTube this time for all you guys that about it's constitutional. I don't know why we have to act stupid all the time. Do you guys notice that? It just acts stupid. I don't think all of them are that dumb, but I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, Brad, you're a little low on energy today. Well, speaking of more knuckleheads, you got Margaret Brennan here. Talk about Iran nuclear ambitions and intel. So I got a clip or two here for you. And this is the chick that I was telling you. The facial expressions. What I want you to see here, not the ignorance, that's going to be obvious. What's the word I'm looking for? Well, you'll see it. You'll notice when you see it. What I'm talking about in the terms of smug, like acting like she knows shit when she doesn't know anything. Like, how are you going to know this information? It's not possible for her to know some of this information. And Marco calls out for it. Here we go.
You're saying there that the United States did not see intelligence that the Supreme Leader had ordered weaponization.
That's irrelevant. I think that question being asked in the media, that's an irrelevant question.
No,
they have
that is
everything
the
they need
key
to build
point
a
in U.S. intelligence assessments. You know that.
No, it's not.
Yes, it was.
No, it's
that
not.
The political decision had not been made.
I know that better than you know that, and I know that that's not the case.
But I'm asking you whether the order was given.
And the people who say that, It doesn't matter if the order was given. They have everything they need to build nuclear weapons. Why would you bury things in a mountain, 300 feet under the ground?
Right.
Why would you bury why do they have 60% enriched uranium? You don't need 60% enriched uranium. The only countries in the world that have uranium at 60% are countries that have nuclear weapons. Because they can quickly make it 90. They have all the elements. They have. Why do they have a space program? Is Iran going to go to the moon? No. They're trying to build an ICBM.
No, but
so
that's a question. That's a question of intent. And you know, in the intelligence assessment, that it was that Iran wanted to be a threshold state and use this leverage. I'm talking about the public March assessment, and that's why I was asking you if you know something more from March.
But that's also an inaccurate representation of it. That's an accurate representation of it. That's not how intelligence is read. That's not how intelligence is used. Here's what the whole world knows. Forget about intelligence. What the IAEA knows. They are enriching uranium well beyond anything you need for a civil nuclear program. So why would you enrich uranium at 60%? Right. If you don't intend to one day use it to take it to 90 and build a weapon. Right. Why are you developing ICBMs? Why do you have 8,000 short-range missiles and 2,000 to 3,000 long mid-range missiles that you continue to develop? Why do you do all these things? They have everything they need for a nuclear weapon. They have the delivery mechanisms. They have the enrichment capability. They have the highly enriched uranium that is stored. Yes. That's all we need to see.
Right. Well,
especially in the hands of a regime that's already involved in terrorism and proxies and all kinds of things around. They are the source of all
yes, and no one's disputing that. I'm not doing that here. And they were censured at the IAEA for that enrichment and for violating their non-proliferation agreements. I was simply asking if we had intelligence that there was an order to weaponize, because you said weaponization ambitions.
Well, we have intelligence that they have everything they need to build a nuclear weapon, and that's more than enough.
Okay.
He slapped her around. But did you see the smug of just, how do I go back to this? Hold on a second. Just from the get-go, right? Right there. I'm looking for it right there. This hand on the hip, going like this. Do you get what I'm saying? Like the whole image, the facial expressions. Where's she at here? Like, oh, you the intelligence says, like, how do you know, lady? You're not in the room. Telling him what the intelligence says, the guy that's actually briefed on it. What an idiot. Well, the intelligence says it's going to say this. It's like, how do you know that? Everything Marco said was right, by the way. Everything that he said was correct. Marco, we were all sleeping on Marco during this whole cabinet pick. Marco, I would say, is one of the top performers right now. I'll even go as far as say he's better than JD Vance right now. What is JD doing? Now, some might say, well, JD's doing his role in which he's supposed to do his role. You'd be correct. I would say Secretary of State's role is probably a lot more important than even the vice president's role. And that's why throughout history, a lot of presidents were previously Secretary of States. And it actually makes sense, right? If you're going to try to be a president, wouldn't you want to have that relationship already established with other nations? And Secretary of State would be the one to establish that relationship with other nations. Marco's great. I mean, not that my opinion of him was negative from the beginning, but he's like, Tom Homan is down here, Marco is up here. Tom Homan overpromised, underdelivered. Marco underpromised, overdelivered. I think there's no clip. Okay, I wanted to get to this though because Marco here says Iran tried to play President Trump, which led to U.S. strikes on 3 Tehran nuclear facilities this weekend. Nobody shows me up. Marco, I wanted to have a Diet Coke with this guy. I wanted to have a Diet Coke with Ali Akbar. Khomeini. I promise that was on purpose, but I couldn't keep the joke in. Give me a moment. I'm trying to collect myself. It's not easy. I just wanted to have a sip of Diet Coke with him. I know he's never tried it. Well, Rubio told anchor Maria Bartiromo on Fox News Sunday Morning Futures, Trump sent a letter months ago to Iran emphasizing how the regime would not be allowed to have nuclear weapons and that he wanted negotiations to achieve a peaceful resolution, but he emphasized that did not happen. They tried to play him along the way. They've played every American president for the last 35 years, and the president told him, if you don't get a deal, which is what we wanted, then I'll have to handle it differently. Trump might be the most generous president I've ever seen in the sense of giving warnings, beyond warnings, beyond more warnings, beyond more warnings, and then slapping you upside your damn head. And nobody's talking about this element here. And this is what I want to tell you. If you know of somebody explaining it like this, let me know. But I think that if you were to look at a positive outcome out of this, other than, hey, they can't establish nuclear warheads, whatever. Like maybe you're against the strike. Truthfully, I didn't want the strike to happen by the United States. I'd rather have a strike happen or some sort of military capability from the Israelis to do this. I understand they can't use bunker busters, but they had another contingency plan in place allegedly. What I could say the positives of this on a global scale is that again, I'm going to say the word again, hones on the positive element. Trump just showed all these countries that he's not fucking around. Now it's serious in the sense of we don't know what this guy's going to do. So when he's talking to Russia and doing negotiations, when he's talking to China saying, let's make a deal. Let's get some shit done here. Let's work together. If you don't want to, well, you're about to find out really quick. So now everybody knows around the world that when Donald Trump gives you an opportunity to do things the right way, you probably want to take it. When he says, this is not going to happen, I'm not going to allow it to fucking happen, you should probably listen to the guy, because now everybody knows the guy follows through. And he did it within the first 5 months of his administration. So now they got 3.5 years of, well, if you want to find out, that's up to you, but at least you know the guy's going to follow through with his words. The guy was generous. Now, maybe not the most generous, right? The most generous would have been Biden for not doing anything, right? Biden saying, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. I guess Biden would be the most generous president I've ever seen. But in terms of a visual, in terms of people wondering if Trump is going to do something, you got to go with now of, he might. And I kind of like that. I like keeping there you go. That's the facial expression I was referring to. Mr. President, you're not going to blow us up, right? I might. That's his face right there. That was the face that I was imagining him doing when I said that. What are the odds? Trump vows to crush Massey in primary after Iran strike criticism. I will say that Massey just kind of, I said it before, and I'm not trying to poke fun. This is a terrible thing that happened to the guy, but it can really mess you up. His spouse passed, and once his spouse passed, he started growing out his hair. He looked tired. He looked disheveled. He started growing out his beard. He started saying stuff that kind of went against stuff that he used to say. It was just, he's all over the place. I don't blame the guy. I mean, he had a massive tragedy happen in his life, but you have here, Donald Trump declared on Sunday that Make America Great Again movement should cut any ties with Representative Thomas Massey on Sunday after the congressman decried this weekend U.S. military strikes on nuclear facilities in Iran and revealed that he will hit the campaign trail next year to support a primary challenger. By the way, if Trump gets the economy, matter of fact, let's look at that. We haven't taken a peek at that yet. If Trump gets the economy going in the right direction, he needs to obviously get it done before midterms, but boy, oh boy, could that lead to bad things for Massey? That's for sure. So here's the market right now. So we are currently at 59.89. We need to be at 60.40. So we need another $50. We need 50 points. We need another 50 points, and we will be back exactly to where Donald Trump was at when he took office. Where are we at here? Can't even see. It's so tiny. That's what she said. So here we go. Right. It's about right here. Here we go. So 60, 50, 60, 54, depending on time frame. But there you go. 60, 48. So we need another $50 and you'll be back exactly where Trump was at when he took office. We can get there. We can get there. So anyways, I just wanted to mention again that he's going to be going after Massey. Congressman Thomas Massey is not a Republican, even though he likes to say he is. Actually, MAGA doesn't want him, doesn't know him, and doesn't respect him. He's a negative force who almost always votes no, no matter how good something may be. He's a simple-minded grandstander who thinks it's good politics for Iran to have, one second, my monitor, there we go, to have the highest level nuclear weapon while at the same time yelling death to America every chance they get. So Trump really, really laid into him big time. So you got that for you. Russia leaders claim multiple countries prep to provide nuclear weapons following U.S. strikes. Now, I do videos on YouTube. I do videos on TikTok. I broke this news in the sense clearly to, I guess, a lot of people on TikTok yesterday because I said, no, let's go to it. Just going to go to it. It's just easier to show you than explain it. And also allows me to promote my TikTok channel, which, by the way, we got suspended, so that's always fun. But here's the video I did yesterday.
Countries. Iran might be getting nukes from other countries. Russia just dropped a massive bombshell where Medvedev, their former president, says multiple countries are ready to give nuclear warheads to Iran. Yes, actual nukes. Right after the U.S. bombed Iran's nuclear sites in a massive operation called Midnight Hammer, where now 3 nuclear sites are completely gone. Over 125 aircraft, B-2 stealth bombers, and a full-on show of force. And now Russia stepping in like, hey, Iran, don't worry about it. We got your back. We'll help you restock. And this isn't just talk, by the way. I mean, heck, Russia's backed Iran's nuclear program for years, and now they're positioning themselves as the peacekeepers while throwing gas on the fire. Meanwhile, Iran's already threatened U.S. bases. Israel's on high alert, and now the nuclear floodgates could open. This isn't just Middle East tension, folks. This could be the spark for global nuclear escalation. It's like we're watching the opening moves of World War III happening. And the question now, what's Trump going to do next? For more news on...
All right. So you got that video, right? Ah, damn it. I didn't mean to take that down. Damn it. Damn it, Bobby. That's a King of the Hill reference. You're welcome.
Iran might...
Let me get it back up. That's what he said. Okay, so if you look over here, comment section, I just want to point something out. Let's see if it's still here. The amount of times I saw this was look at fake news again. Dude making bleep up to create fear. Look, by the way, this was like right after I posted it. I'm making it up. People are like, I don't know where you got this information from. How is this guy always coming up with this stuff? Where are you getting it from? I used the entire internet and couldn't find it. These are all comments I saw yesterday. People are fucking stupid. Sources reporting, by the way, in the video, I literally gave the guy's name, the primary source of where it's coming from. Not like some secondary bullshit or something I heard from like a third party vendor overhearing a guy listening to a podcast of which I heard it from. I gave you the guy's fucking name that said it. Where's he getting the information from? What? The guy's just fear-mongering. How could he do this? I looked through the entire internet. I was keyboarding and I couldn't find anything on the entire fucking internet. I didn't use AI. I should have. You idiots. Fuck, man. It's remarkable how people cannot use you. Yeah, you're right. I'm fucking losing my shit because I'm tired of people. I don't know where you're getting this from, you liar. Sources reporting Medvedev's claim about Iran nuclear. Fox News, Reuters, New York Post, The Times UK, Jerusalem Post, his own fucking X page. Like, holy shit. War Room, Zero Hedge, military.com. Like, how many fucking sites do you... This is not all of them, I want to point out. This is not even all of them. I can't find it anywhere. Do you know how many people wrote that shit in here? Look, where did you get this info? I literally gave you the guy's name. Do I have a right to be a little bit upset here? Look, source? Hold on a second. Source? Foreign President Medvedev said this. Like, what the fuck? Crazy. Just, it's unbelievable. It's a lie. Just insane. Can you tell me where you got this information from? Seriously. If one of those countries gave Iran a nuclear weapon, they would be breaking international nuclear treaties that have been in place for decades. It's hard to believe. At least this guy was nice about it. So I nicely gave him back. I didn't write anything back. Here's the list. But it's like, come on. Like, really? And it goes on. It's just frustrating. You could have typed, by the way, you could have typed everything I said into Grok, ChatGPT, any of the artificial intelligence and said, where is this guy getting this reporting from? And it would have pulled up that exact same list and actually giving you more than what I gave you. Fuck, man. How do you graduate high school and you don't know how to research? That's my question. Like, how is that even possible? I'm not arguing with them. I'm merely pointing out the fact of like, you're dumb. You have the internet. You could teach and learn yourself anything. And it's like, well, where are you getting this from? Like, that's a really, that question's a stupid one. Where are you getting this from? What's your source? That is a really stupid question. The guy goes, Medvedev. Like, I gave you the name. It would be like me reporting on something Donald Trump said. The sitting president of the United States said this. What's your source? I don't know. Maybe the fucking president of the United States? Like, what? Like, wait, how do you answer that without being an asshole is my question. Anybody got any good tips? How do you answer that without being a dick? Former president said that Russia's former president said that nuclear countries are poised to provide Iran with nuclear warheads after the U.S. launched strikes against 3 Iranian nuclear facilities. Isn't that exactly what I said in the video? The enrichment of nuclear material, and now we could say it outright, the future production of nuclear weapons will continue. Dmitry Medvedev, now the deputy chairman of the Security Council of Russia. Do you think the guy's a pretty important position? Think it's a pretty good source? I would say so. Yeah, pretty good source. The guy talks, I listen. A number of countries are ready to directly supply Iran with their own nuclear warheads. He didn't list specific countries that might pitch in and support Iran. However, Russia historically has backed Iran's nuclear program. So that's a major problem for us, because what do you do? What do you do if another country gives Iran nuclear warheads? What do you do? So U.S. cities on high alert after U.S. bombs Iran. I just want to point out again, folks, that New York City and Los Angeles and other cities are surging law enforcement resources at religious and other sites. Do you notice that most of them? Do you notice can anybody in the chat? Let's see this, because we actually have bright people in our chat. Thank God. What do all three of those cities have in common that are on heightened alert for terrorism? I'm just going to take a moment. There's a slight delay here, and I could sip on my water since we don't have coffee today. A little on edge. A little on edge. So, what do all three of those have in common? I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Just going to be dead air. Yes. Blue cities, sanctuary cities. Yep. Good. Exactly. That's all I needed. I don't even need to cover this because you guys already know. You allowed this you allowed these people to come in. I don't want to hear shit if a terrorist does some shit. I don't want to hear, how could they do this? How did they get in here? Can you believe they blew up 1,000 people? Yes, I can, you idiot. Absolutely, I can. There is no minuscule thought in my head of how could they have done this. There's no thought. I can't believe they came here and tried to hurt me and did hurt me and my family. I'm not even going to listen to it. I'm not even going to bother. So B-2 bombers have arrived back in Missouri after hamming Iranian nuclear sites. We don't need to cover that. This was also news. Jihadist suicide bomber kills 20, wound dozens more at Orthodox church. This happened over the weekend, I think yesterday, actually. At least 20 Christians were killed and 52 others were wounded on Sunday when a radical Islamic terrorist, always seems to be the case, doesn't it, opened fire in an Orthodox church in Damascus, Syria, and then detonated an explosive vest. The terrorist affiliated with ISIS targeted this church on the outskirts of Damascus. A person who witnessed the attack told AFP news agency that someone entered carrying a weapon and began firing at worshipers. A group of churchgoers and members charged the attacker and tried to stop him before he blew himself up. Oh, man. Those were some strong men and women that went after the guy. That takes a lot of cojones, man. It takes a lot of cojones. Graphic footage of the aftermath of the bombing captured by the Syrian civil defense showed bloody bodies on the ground and rows of pews blown to pieces. Some local media reports said that children were among those killed in the terrorist attack, which is obviously terrible. A man was at the church during the attack, said that he saw people blown to bits. There is video of it on X for those that want to get gory. I saw the video. It's not good. Like, you do see people. So, and not like people just walking around. You'll see that as well. But I'm talking like you'll see, people that were deleted. So that video's there if you want to look at it. I am a gory guy. So I have to look, because if I don't, then my mind's going to be wandering. So I'm one of those weirdos. So judge me. Judge me. So there was another tragedy in another church, except this one was in Michigan. Shooter targeting Michigan church taken out by security guard. Huh. Good guy kills bad guy. Interesting. A shooter was shot and killed by a security guard after opening fire at a church in Wayne, Michigan, while worshipers were gathered for a service. Isn't it amazing that this was not like wall-to-wall coverage? Do you want to know why it wasn't wall-to-wall coverage? And you know this. Because the security guard shot him. Well, I think the security guard hit him with a car, and I think somebody else came and got him. But let's break this down. The assailant was stopped before he could make it inside the community church when one of the church deacons hit him with his F-150, giving the security guard time to shoot the attacker. There you go. So the security guard did shoot him. So didn't make headlines because good guy with gun killed bad guy with gun. And it completely destroys the narrative. Because if this guy didn't have a firearm, and one would say if the guy didn't have an F-150, but either way, both are used for killing people all the time. Just save people's lives, a bunch of people. Michelle says that church is around the corner from where I grew up. Well, that's scary. The security guard was also wounded in the shooting after taking a bullet to the leg, but no one else was injured. So here's what you can hear it happening. You don't see anything, so it's okay to watch. You don't see anything, you just hear things. But here's the church. Look at the little kids there and everything. It's just terrible. Oh, come on, Elon. You still can't get your shit together. There we go.
Oh.
Get out.
Come on. Everybody to the back. Please, everybody come to the back. Come to the back. Don, they gotta come. They gotta come. Come on.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Go. Out, I don't think is a good idea. Come on here.
This guy. I don't mean to laugh. You know that guy's seen some shit. Jeez, I don't mean to laugh. It's all the guys that are just like walking. God. Oh, man. So anyways, that's there for you. But good guy taking out a bad guy with a gun. It's amazing how that works out, huh? Yeah, it's common sense. I know. You don't have to tell me. It's common sense to all of us, but remember, there's idiots roaming amongst us that are idiots. That you know, there's no better word. That's all I got for them. They're idiots. How terrifying. Yeah, absolutely terrifying. But, you know, even in a church, you got to have somebody strapping. And where the reason why I was going to go further with it is because imagine if that security guard didn't have a firearm. Like maybe the F-150 actually didn't stop him really all that much. Then you'd have a massacre on your hands again. Because you've seen how long it takes police officers to arrive to any situation. It takes a long time. And then sometimes they even arrive and don't even go in. So it's nice to have a firearm on you. At least you get to protect you and your kids, your family, and your friends like everybody else. Because you got something. Crazy. Somebody became a member. Jade Hunter became part of the Bald Brad Army. Appreciate you. And I might as well make the announcement again. Just make sure everybody is able to hear it. Starting July 1st, our base tier is going to go from 99 cents to $1.99. We've never increased our tiers before. We're only increasing that one because we're not doing ads anymore. And most people are in that bottom tier. I'm targeting everybody. But if you want to stick around, I appreciate that. If you want to unsubscribe or remove your subscription, I don't hold it against you guys. Okay. You just even offering your money in the first place was a blessing. But if you want to stick around and do that and support us, appreciate you. I'd rather you go to the $4.99 option because that'd actually help us more. But, you know, you do what you can do. Just appreciate you guys. You know, not trying to piss anybody off, but we're not running ads anymore. So I guess it's a give or take. But anywho, $1 increase on the bottom tier only, July 1st. So in about 7-8 days, that will take effect. So I don't want anybody like looking at their stuff going, well, hold on a second. Why am I having an extra $1? So that's why. There is an alternative donation. Alternative donation is my website. So look at this psycho here. Look at this psycho. Has braces on. Is that braces? What is that? No offense to anybody who has braces, but no, I think that's just a Jesus, man. I don't know. But left-wing activists help illegal child rape escape from ICE. Well, here you go. Doesn't surprise me. Left-wing activists on Friday allegedly tipped off an illegal alien who was a convicted child rapist, helping him escape from landing in United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement custody. This morning, ICE and FBI Denver were attempting to arrest Jose Reyes Leon Deras, a criminal alien from El Salvador who was convicted of and wanted for child rape in Italy. Didn't I just mention the other day that there's people over here that are wanted for murder and other heinous crimes in their own country. I literally actually said, I think it was Saturday, I said this. Friday or Saturday, one of the 2 days, like most recent, I literally talked about the same exact thing, that there's people here that are like tried for heinous crimes in their own country and they flee their country to here. And it's crazy. And we got idiots here that will harbor them. There needs to be something that if you are harboring an illegal alien, it should be like a federal crime. It should be like a massive federal offense. Like you're getting like 5 years in prison or something like that. Like, this is, or if you're obstructing anything to do with this, you should. It's bullshit. Because you're helping people like this out. And nothing happens to that person that's tipping them off. During our surveillance of Leon, members of Colorado Rapid Response arrived on scene and alerted him to law enforcement's presence, which allowed him to escape arrest. Colorado Rapid Response is a far-left anti-ICE organization that has been responding to immigrant raids. The group's website says the organization is committed to responding to raids, deportation, and any immigration custom enforcement activity happening across the state and our communities. Oh, you're really keeping your community safe, assholes. Nice job. No, real nice job. You're allowing a fucking child rapist run free, you idiots. Fucking nut jobs, man. Yeah, it pisses me off. That pisses me off when you start going after kids. That pisses me off big time, you little shitheads. The group has a hotline asking for tips. Well, why don't we call that hotline and tell them to fuck off? That's what we could do. Here we go. ICE Denver condemned the group and others like it, writing groups like this interfere with ICE's ability to keep communities safe. If you know of the whereabouts, do not approach, blah, blah, blah. So if you see that guy, I'd be going after your kid next. But no big deal to all these nut jobs out here, these Democrats roaming the streets acting like idiots. Oh, they're just here for a better life. How many times have we heard that? Yeah, they're just trying to start anew. I'm sure they are. Oh, they're trying to look for a better life and start anew. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I'm real sure. Unbelievable. Running on empty, how Biden drained America's gas tank. I'm not going to cover this in detail, but you can head over to the Daily Wire and read this if you would like. I wanted to get into different news here, but we're running on empty myself in terms of gas because I got no coffee. A little bit different today. Yeah, the person should not be breathing our oxygen. Exactly correct, Danielle. Danielle's a savage, man. You don't fuck with Danielle. Danielle kicked my ass. She's like, Brad, I'd love to grapple on the ground with you for a bit. Simmer down, Danielle. This month marks a bleak anniversary for American families and a perfect illustration of the cost of Joe Biden's failures. It was just 3 years ago, in June of 2022, when gas prices in the United States hit their highest level, topping $5 per gallon. I would have been blessed to be. I'm paying $5 a gallon like right now. I live in California, but it's here nor there. But anyways, yeah, you can check that article out if you want to. It's a dud. I wanted to get into this because I want to moan and complain about this again. I want to see if they're right here. I've not read this, but you know how I am with education. Here we go. American students are dumber than ever thanks to equity. Just off the title, 100% correct. 100% correct. I always mention this. Go inside the classroom. Your head would fucking spin. These kids can't even tie their shoes in high school. They're wearing Velcro shoes in some cases. Yeah, Brad didn't have his liquid crack this morning. Did he hit the pipe and said, I didn't hit nothing, man. I wanted to hit my head against the wall for not putting the freaking pot inside the I can't believe that. Wait till my wife finds out. Holy shit. She's not going to care. She's going to laugh because normally she does stuff like that. Shit. In 2025, American students from kindergarten through law school are dumber than they ever been, and we needn't look further than the nation's abysmal math and English literacy. I want somebody, just one person. We have hundreds of people watching across all platforms. I just want one person to explain to me how it's possible. Now, I know how it's possible. I know why it's happening and how it's being allowed to happen, but how is it correctly possible that somebody passes high school or moves on to the next grade level without actually meeting the standards? So if you're abysmal in math and English literacy and the NAEP scores are proving it, how is it possible you're graduating? Somebody explain that to me. Just one person. Not like, well, bro, Brad, they're fudging the grade book and they're giving people assignments and all this shit. I know how that works. I want, how is it possible? Because I know the answer. Anybody. How is it possible? Now, more than 200 California bar exam takers have had their failing scores adjusted to pass. That's called a curve, indicating that the newest crop of California lawyers are dumber than they ever have been. What's more, under simultaneous consideration by the state bar is a rule allowing students who register for but withdrew from taking the bar exam altogether to practice law under the supervision of qualified attorneys. Bar exam be hanged. Something nefarious is afoot, and it's in the name of equity. Have I not been preaching this for years? Now, Miss Mom, No Child Left Behind Act was put away under Barack Obama. It's under a different term. So we haven't used No Child Left Behind for like, I don't know. It's been a long time, well over a decade. So it's not No Child Left Behind. I forgot what they call it, but Barack Obama did away with it, but it's something very similar to it. Public schools in Arlington, Virginia allow students to redo assignments, turn in late work, and reduce the weight given to homework and quizzes. Georgia public schools went more than 3 years without assigning A through F grades to any students in the state. So it's babysitting. It's fucking babysitting. That's all it is. I'm not even gonna bother with it. I'm gonna get pissed. I'm not gonna bother. As you can tell, I'm in a mood. It's just, I'm tired of all the bullshit, man. I'm tired of the illegal immigrants coming here and harming our children, raping and murdering people. I'm tired of being censored on social media fucking everywhere I turn for saying shit that's obvious. I'm reading an article off the fucking internet and I'm getting censored. I get censored on YouTube. We get deplatformed on places. We get videos taken down. You got this shit happening where even American parents don't want to take accountability. It's always the teacher's fault. It can never fucking be their angel child's fault for doing some shit, failing because they passed through the system, not knowing how to do multiplication, and they're a fucking senior in AB calculus and don't know how to fucking tie their shoes, and it's somebody else's fault. Unbelievable. I'm just tired of the fucking blame game happening. Why don't you blame your fucking self for once? God damn. So annoying. It's always everybody else's fault for somebody's fuck up. Because parents enable that shit. Oh, it's okay, Johnny. It's the coach's fault. He didn't give you enough playing time. That's why you didn't hit the ball. Maybe you didn't hit the ball because your kid can't fucking have it on straight. You know what I mean? Maybe he needs to practice more. How about that? It's okay, Johnny. It's okay you failed. It's the teacher's fault. The teacher's not teaching you. Okay, then why don't you take your day off fucking work and go sit in the classroom? Give me this shit. I'm so sorry. It's no coffee Monday. And I'm almost out of water. You're like, geez, Brad, you're in a really bad mood. I'm actually in a pretty great mood. That's the funny thing. I think we'll end it there. Let me at least check to see if there's any updates here. It looks like there is. Let me refresh this. Looks like there's some updates with Iran. Let's see. Oh, whoa, are we down? Hold on. Here we go. Jesus. Alrighty. Iranian retaliation against U.S. forces could come in the next day or two, says report. So I wonder if they're getting that from intelligence. That's interesting. So I guess against U.S. forces, we'll see. Did not want to click on that. Iran to suspend cooperation with IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Agency. The IAEA acts as an intergovernmental forum on nuclear issues and is tasked with inspecting nuclear facilities. Wow, stop traffic. The same people that didn't want to allow inspectors to come in their facilities and look at the shit and had secret nuclear facilities that were never even acknowledged by the Iranians are going to leave the International Atomic Energy Agency, the very agency that's with inspecting facilities. Wow. So you didn't allow You didn't allow people to inspect it in the first place, and we're all supposed to be like, oh no, please come back. Allow us to inspect your facilities. We'll just blow it up again. We'll just blow it up again. Trump demands oil prices be kept down. Oh, shit. Trump. Sorry. He just gets me, man. Trump demands oil prices be kept down. He adds that rising them is playing right into the hands of the enemy. I'm watching. Oh. I'm watching and I'm pissed. Satellite images show monumental damage to Iran nuclear facilities, even though Iran's like, no, everything's fine. Everything's good. Nothing. There's no damage. There wasn't even a bomb drop. Yeah, okay. Psychos. Okay, sure. As you can tell, I don't like the Iranian government. I don't. But I think we'll end it there. Sorry, like maybe we could find like a happy-go-lucky clip. I don't like ending on a note like that. Maybe we can watch this. There was a clip that I posted. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see if this is it. Nope, that's the clip. Oh, here's Scott. Let's do another Scott clip. This one says Democrats suddenly have a problem with masks as soon as ICE agents try to protect themselves from being doxxed and criminally targeted.
Protesters are trying to take their picture and dox them on the internet and put them and their families in harm's way. Do you agree with that?
I had
because
not,
I don't.
I had not heard about that, and which I think we live in kind of different informational silos. So I think you may not be as aware of the fact that there are like literally nannies out there with little kids in the neighborhood where I'm raising my family. The nannies are being snatched away, and the babies are being put in police cars for 4 hours. That's horrible. I didn't know about this doxing, and that's horrible too. So there's a lot of bad stuff that's happening. The doxing should not be happening, but what's happening is those masks are terrifying people. But I wasn't aware of the doxing.
Well, I don't disagree with you about masks being. I mean, all the protests that are happening, the Free Palestine people who have now converted into the pro-Iranian regime people. A lot of them wear masks out there. We don't seem to be exercised about that. But in the case of these law enforcement who are being doxed, and I mean, they're only being terrible. Doxed for one reason, because they want people to come along and do something terrible to them.
I'm from a law enforcement family, and I'm against that. And by the way, the Urban League is standing up against these mass protesters.
All right. Next.
I think it should be against the law to be able to protest with a mask on. I think it should be. I think it should be against the law. You can't see who's doing criminal activity. You don't know who's under the mask, and these pussies want to hide because they're fear of losing their jobs. At least I have the balls to come on camera and talk about what I think and go over the news. My face is here. I ain't no little bitch. Well, there you go. Brad, get some stupid pet trick clips for palate cleansers or cleaners. I appreciate that. Keith. Thank you, Keith. Keith says with $10 over at Rumble for coffee and a donut, man. Shit. I promise you guys I'm actually in a very good mood. Please don't think that me not having coffee is like, wow, man, he's just grouchy. No. It was a different show to begin with, but I was also in a rush to try to clean up. I didn't even clean up everything. I got to go back out there and clean up more. I didn't even get everything done. I was trying to make sure I was getting as much as I possibly can. It was bad before we went live. That's why I was a couple minutes. I was freaking sweating. I was trying to get everything done, but I'm actually in a really great mood. But thank you, Keith, for the $10. And I will get a cup of coffee and a donut now that you mentioned it. I'm going to shower again because I'm sweating in here. And I'll go get a cup of coffee and a donut on your dime, Keith. I appreciate that. God bless you. As soon as Brad is done, he's going to hit Starbucks. That's actually where I was going to go, is Starbucks to get I told you, the cold brew, no water, no ice. I'll go to Starbucks. There's a donut place right next to it. I'll grab a donut from the nice little Vietnamese lady, and I'll say, "Ham ne chow," and I'll be out. So, with that being said, pray for this country, pray for Donald Trump, pray for peace, because I don't want this crap to escalate. It makes for good content, but outside of that, it's not a good thing, and nobody wants it. We'll be back here tomorrow, though, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, hopefully with a nice cup of coffee this time, and more news. Be on the lookout. If something is in breaking news, please follow me on TikTok. I might go live, so anytime there's something breaking, I'll try to go live if it's really big. But appreciate all of you. I'll see you next time here on the Ball Brat Show. Take care, Patriots.